have about 2 days for the 5.
June the 18th, 2013. Do we have any comments or corrections to the minutes? Entertain a motion, yes, sir.
Madam Chairman, I move we approve the minutes as presented.
Second?
Madam Secretary, I have a motion on the floor to approve the minutes for the June 18th, 2013 meeting made by Mr. McSaney and seconded by Mr. Hayes. Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. McSaney?
Yes.
Mr. Hayes?
Yes.
Mr. Dyer?
Yes.
Chairwoman Blitz?
Yes,
And the motion carries.
thank you. Agenda item 3 is HDC 0542013 for 103 Washington Boulevard. Do we want to put it towards the end, and we'll see if she comes in? Then if not, we'll do something. Agenda item 4 is HDC 0012014 for 317 Montgomery Street. Hello. You can have a seat right there. And you're Mr. John Ellsworth?
I am.
Okay. You want to tell us about your fence?
I have a fence surrounding my property. On the two sides, it's a 3.5, 4-foot picket. It's a 6-foot picket in the back. And what I want to do is replace the entire fence with the 6-foot stockade, and I think there's a picture in the package. You know, basically just for privacy.
Okay. And the front is still going to be the 3-foot?
Right, there's a small section there between myself and the neighbor to my left, so you know that would remain the same size with a gate.
Okay. You're going to leave it natural, or are you going to paint it?
I'm going to keep it
or-
wood. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
You're going to replace the front with a 3-foot picket fence. You already have the 3-foot picket fence on
Yeah.
the right-hand side. Is that correct? As you
The
face the house?
smaller fence, if you look
On the
at-
east side?
Yeah, if you look at the house from the road, has a small, I don't know, 6 or 8 foot span of smaller fence with a little gate. I'm just proposing that I put the 6-foot on the two sides going out and the back.
And you're not going to replace the front?
I'm gonna replace it with new fencing, but the same height.
Okay. As you face the house on the west side, the fence is different. On the front, it
fence,
has
you
the cur-
mean the driveway side?
Yes, sir.
I have a gate there. I'm not gonna do anything with that gate.
Okay, because I noticed that it is a different type of fence there, or a
Yeah.
different gate.
Yeah, it's a gate, but I'm not gonna
Have you
replace the
considered-
gate.
Okay, having that match, though? Maybe the
Don't
other
tell
side.
my wife, she'll have me do that, you know. I haven't, because those boards are in good shape, and I've treated them, and they're the same wood color, and I thought it would probably go with the stockade wood. I don't plan on painting the wood. I'll probably just treat it after the end of the first year, so keep it that natural look.
Yeah, the condition of the fence looks fine on that side. It's different from
All right,
the picket part on the front, on the east
Right.
side.
right.
That was my only concern, is
Right.
you might consider making that just, for balance sake, and
Yeah,
it is pretty significantly different because the boards, I think, are pretty close together.
yeah,
it's
and the
got that
stockade would
arch.
all be together. The only difference would be that the stockade, of course, has the tips, but the tips would be, of course, running front to back. It's the same kind of boards, just they're trimmed at the top. There's no picketing at the top,
Right.
yeah.
Well, yeah, what I was suggesting is that the left-hand side, as you face the house front, look the same as the right-hand side, just for balance purposes.
Okay. Are you suggesting that, or are you telling me I need to do that?
I'm suggesting it.
Okay, understood.
Maybe when he has to replace that, he'll make it all match.
I'm sorry?
I said that when the time comes and you have to
Yeah,
replace
you know,
then it
those
might-
boards are, I spent a good bit of time power washing them and treating them before the winter last year. So they're in pretty good shape, but I will certainly, when I take those boards down, it's a metal framed, I'll put the exact same, I would obviously put the exact same fencing material up that I have on the side to match, absolutely. You bet.
Any other questions?
Madam Chair, I'd like to move that we approve HDC 001-2014 as described.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Madam Secretary, I have a motion on the floor to approve HDC 001-2014, made by Mr. Hayes, seconded by Mr. Dyer. Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Hayes?
Yes.
Mr. Dyer?
Yes.
Mr. McSeany?
Yes.
Chairwoman Blitz?
Yes.
And the motion carries.
Thank you
Thank you.
much.
Very good. Thank
Appreciate
you
it.
for coming in.
Yep.
Agenda item 5 is HDC 002-2014 for 331 Laurel Avenue. Hello. You're Andrea DeBais?
I'm actually Lindsay. Andrea's my
Okay.
husband.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. It's like
know
this
that.
mistake happens frequently.
I'm just looking at the applicant name, okay. And let's see, you want to do some work on your roof?
Yes.
You wanna describe the job to us?
We, pretty shortly after moving in, now like 5 years ago, discovered that there were some very small leaks in the roof. And we've just been kind of keeping an eye on them as time has progressed. And now it's gotten to the point where the leaks are getting more significant, and we really are worried about it starting to cause damage in the attic. And in particular, the main problem area is when you, and forgive me, I'm probably not going to use the right terms, but when you get up in the attic and you bend down and look way out at where the roof is meeting the floor line, like where the, I guess right under where the integrated gutters are, water will actually pool in there. So we're just getting worried that we can't wait any longer without doing something to fix the roof. So we had gotten some different estimates and found a contractor who we felt really comfortable with, who seemed really competent and to know his stuff. And he gave us some estimates for different options. What we find that will fit within our current budget is to replace with the 30-year shingles. I guess he may have called them something else.
That's good, 30 years.
Engineered,
What you mean.
engineered shingles. And we also talked about the gutters. He gave us a couple different options, but it was going to cost an additional significant amount to try and keep the integrated gutters. And so we were hoping to replace with shingles and then have gutters that are similar to the other houses that are around us in the neighborhood.
Do you know if the new gutters would be half-round gutters, or round, or square, or?
I think that they were just, I wasn't really aware that there were a lot of different options as far as external gutters. I mean, when we talked with the contractor, we were kind of looking at the house that's right next door to us, which I believe is 333 Laurel Avenue. And those, I don't know if these pictures are in a packet that you got, but they look kind of square.
Right, they
to
do,
me.
they are square, okay.
I don't think we have a strong preference if there's something that's more acceptable aesthetically. I mean, for square versus rounded, we don't have a strong preference.
Similar to what's there is probably the preferred.
And as far as the color of the shingles, we were just hoping for kind of a medium gray. This is such a tiny sample, it's probably hard to tell. There's just sort of a medium color. Where not super dark, but not super light, hopefully to make heat accumulation in the attic not be quite as intense. But-
Because now there's tar on top of the tin.
Yes, currently the roof, we've been told it's tin and that it has just a big layer of tar on top of it. The roof on the main body of the house, the tar still kind of looks okay, although we have the leaks, as I mentioned. But then on our front porch, there's also a significant amount of like rust developing because it seems like the tar has just worn away over time.
Mhm. Questions?
Going back to the gutters, half-round gutters would be more appropriate.
Half round.
Half-round.
Okay, I should have brought a pen.
Now, they're probably a little bit more expensive, but Mike Les, Councilman Les, knows more about purchasing them than the rest of us at the moment. So you might want to call him,
Okay.
and he'll talk to you about it.
Yeah, there is a place, I know down in Beltsville, no, I'm sorry, Hyattsville, just before it goes into Mount Rainier on the right-hand side, and that's where I got my half-round.
Oh, you have half-rounds too? Good.
Near Beltsville and Hyattsville.
Well, I misspoke when I said Beltsville. It's down through Hyattsville, just past the court building, down close to Mount Rainier, on the right-hand side. I forget the name of it, though. But I can get you that, actually, Lindsay. I just live around the corner from you, so. I'm trying to get in my mind's eye what this would actually look like, because you have the integrated gutters now.
Right.
Now, would you just,
Explain what that means. What is an integrated gutter?
it's actually part of the building itself, it's an extension of the building itself, and
It's not what we see here.
No.
No,
These are hanging gutters.
those are hanging gutters, and
Right.
that's what this would be.
Actually, you can't even
Is
see.
it on the right?
My understanding from the description is that he would tear down the fascia and the gutters, and then plywood over the fascia. What I'm trying to get in my mind's eye is what it would look like differently from
Right.
what it currently looks like.
I may have misunderstood, but my understanding was that he was not going to change like the structure, the way that it looks, so that essentially, that integrated gutter may just get covered over and that the new gutter will just be added on to the edge of that. My understanding was not that necessarily that he was going to tear off the
Well,
integrated
I guess
gutter,
that's
but-
what, I'm sorry.
It doesn't say on his description that he's going to tear it off.
Yeah, that's what I wasn't sure, because it sounded like the fascia was going to come off,
Right.
but he was going to plywood over the gutter.
I think that
Therefore,
was
what-
to sort of leave the line of the way things are intact and then just,
But then that would extend out the new gutter, the hanging gutter,
the new gutter
further.
will hang a little bit out. I mean, it would be, attached to what's there,
Okay,
was my understanding.
okay, so it actually, the ledge of the guttering now would be extended out the width of the new guttering.
The
new
width
half
of the new guttering, yes.
Yes, sir.
I know a standing seam metal roof is, 40% more than what you're going to pay already. But I wonder, we've had other people go down this path, and several have agreed, the roof over the front porch. I'd appreciate if you get a price to see whether or not you could afford just to do the roof over the front porch with a standing seam roof.
I do think there's one other house in my neighborhood that's
That's
like
that.
that's shingles on the body, but she has metal on the porch.
Yep.
Yeah, we have not gotten a price for that.
Yeah.
But we could ask I have no idea what to expect in terms of how much that adds. I know that our budget has a little bit of wiggle room, but,
Okay.
so if it's not a really significant increase, we could probably pull that off.
Okay, you're aware that you got a 10% tax credit for coming here?
No.
Yes,
Yeah.
there you go. We've almost paid for it.
Against your property taxes.
Do I have to remember that and put it somewhere to get?
Yeah, you have to remember, it. You have to file
You do a
it.
little paperwork.
Okay, that's fine.
It's well worth it, though.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of paperwork either, really.
No, it's not a lot of paperwork. You just get your receipts, keep copies of your receipts and your checks.
Receipts and proof of payment, which is checks or your credit card statement.
Yeah.
And would the standing seam metal roof on the porch, would we just aim to make that the same color as the shingles? Or,
I don't think you have much choice in color.
oh,
I think it's gonna
just
be-
kinda
I think it's gonna be-
black or black.
You think isn't it a pewter color?
Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
a pewter, yeah. It's
Yeah.
kind of a silverish, toned down silver thing.
The same family as the roof.
Pardon?
In the same family as the roof, like would be a gray or.
Yeah, pretty much, exactly. Yeah.
Well, yeah, her roof, well, Lord knows what color it was to begin with.
Gray, I think she said, right?
Well, oh, you mean
I have
the
no
root
idea. I
tin
have no
roof
idea
on
what's
it.
under the
The
bar.
new roof.
You're talking about the new roof.
Oh, the
yeah,
new roof, yeah, it'll be close to the new roof.
Okay.
Yeah, something, be a little lighter than the, yeah. But if you could do that, I mean, I'm not
Yeah, I think we're
prepared.
happy to, I'm
I'm not-
happy to ask the contractor and see if
Yeah,
that.
I wouldn't make it a condition of approval, but,
Okay.
yeah.
It'd be a nice homage to the original tin
it
roof.
would.
I mean, and it does look, I know that the house across the street that's like that, it does
Yes.
look nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that for sure.
This is a beautiful house.
And I certainly wish, I appreciate the desire to keep everything sort of in historic,
Compatible.
compatible.
Yeah.
And I really wish it was in our budget to do the whole thing.
But keeping the building stabilized is really important, too.
Yeah.
You know.
Madam Chairman, I'd move that we approve HDC 002, 2014, as presented, with a recommendation that if they can work it into their budget and considering a tax credit, if they would put in a standing seam roof on the front porch.
I'll second it.
Okay. Madam Secretary, I have a motion on the floor to approve HGC 002-2014 as stated by Mr. McSaney and seconded by Mr. Dyer. Would you call the roll, please?
Mr. McSaney?
Oh, excuse me, and probably let me add to
The
the
gutters.
motion that
The
they will
half-round.
also look into using half-round gutters.
As stated by Mr. McSaney and seconded by Mr. Dyer.
Mr. McSaney?
Yes.
Mr. Dyer?
Yes.
Mr. Hayes?
Yes.
Chairwoman Blitz?
Yes.
And the motion carries.
Thank you.
Good luck.
I'll get you the name of that guttering.
Yeah, and I hope we can get it done before we get a whole bunch more rainstorms.
If we don't. Thank you so much.
How's the feeling?
This week wouldn't be a good route, good week to be on the roof.
We were up there working.
Yeah.
That would be bad. Okay, we have one staff approval for 400 Main Street. Any questions or comments about that?
Too late to change that.
And any new business? No? Did you?
What are we gonna?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I will imagine, are we tabling
Gotta be careful of tabling it.
0542013, or are we
If we
just
table it
going to
and 30 days
contact the applicant?
passes,
Yep.
it's approved.
Oh,
So
no,
we have
don't want to do
to,
that.
we have to think about this a little bit more.
Sign is already up, right?
Hi, yes.
Yeah, the two signs, both signs
Yeah.
are already up. I have some objections to the style of the signs, and I'd like to ask the applicant about it. But since the applicant isn't here, I'd say we in effect have an incomplete application since he can't answer our questions. So,
Great.
Agreed to. Good.
but wait a minute, if he has an incomplete application, I don't know how, so we ask him to show up to
The next
complete the
meeting.
application by answering some questions. How about that?
I think that's good. So we'll be contacting him.
That's a motion.
Yes,
That's a motion?
this application will just void, and she'll have to reapply.
No, you can't, if
It's-
we turn it down,
Oh, okay.
if we turn it down, they can't come back with the same thing.
For a year.
Right. We can't turn it down.
But we've had somewhere where they weren't here and we asked them to come the next
At the
meeting.
next
Yeah.
meeting.
Yeah.
It wasn't by motion, was it?
This is actually the second time with this applicant.
Yeah, I know.
Well, if you table it, you've got 30 days to do something about it. And that something can include at the next meeting.
Hold on, we don't
So
have a
we
date.
can wait till the next meeting to do
We don't have
that.
a date on this, at least I don't, is there, it must be a date on here someplace. Is there a date on here somewhere? Sonny?
There's a date on the top. I've just been putting the month and year.
I mean, it sounds like we can just ask the participant to come, or it's gonna, it's probably gonna get
Oh, yeah,
rejected and
oh,
we'll have to
excuse me,
reapply.
Laurie has,
Hi, don't I?
where is that? I
Well, it
mean,
really is incomplete at
see it.
this point. We
Right.
don't have the answers. The
yeah.
application isn't giving us all the information
oh, yes,
we
yeah,
need.
yeah.
So can you table it as incomplete?
Yes, it is incomplete because we don't have the size of,
Marty, is
The letters on the one side?
Yeah.
looking, questioning, is there an issue with
You don't need a reason-
incomplete?
You don't need a reason to table it.
well, tabling doesn't stop the clock from running.
But if it's
But we're
incomplete,
not having a
does
meeting
that?
till September.
Yeah, well, we don't even know,
Marty,
sitting
we're not
here right
meeting
now,
in
it
August.
doesn't appear that we know when this application isn't dated. So it's incomplete because it doesn't even have a date.
You didn't take the application.
I date, and their date up on the,
It
Where?
says 7/20/13.
July of 2013.
Oh, that's a
There is a
date.
date. She just doesn't have a dash in between the 20 and the 13. It's like, no, it can't be 7/20.
No, that can't be.
No, just 2013 is what it is.
Yeah, 7/2013.
And we won't be meeting in August, so.
Oh, we're not. Somebody asked me about that the other day, and I said, sure, we're gonna meet in August. We don't meet in August?
I don't even have agenda items except this one. so.
Well, they're your guidelines, so we can make a motion to table it for 60 days.
Should we do that?
I'd rather just say it's an incomplete application, and so at the clock, we've done that in the past. If it's an incomplete application, the time.
The date doesn't matter
That's
because we
correct.
don't have it's,
That's
when it's
correct.
complete is when it's dated.
That's,
I'm not sure I agree with you that it's an incomplete application. I mean, you have unanswered questions.
no, it says in the staff report that the size of the letters, we don't know. And we're supposed to know the size of the letters.
On the one sign. We've tried to call the sign company, we've tried to get in touch with the applicant, and no, we just haven't had return calls.
I mean, it's unlikely it would become an issue, but I'd hate to see it just be approved by default.
Name your poison. Either way.
Okay, I say it's incomplete application. And once they complete it, and I think that you should make every effort to make sure they know they need to come. Because they've been a no-show twice, right?
Correct.
Plus, the signs are up without permits, and
Yes.
so she's not.
A lot of negatives here.
Correct.
So this is the second time they no-showed?
Yes.
I pulled it off the last time because I didn't have the information.
Pardon?
I'd reject it now.
You're getting a little pushback, aren't you?
If you want.
Are they being fined for having it up before approval?
As of tomorrow, they'll get a correction order.
Okay.
No, that should put a fire under them.
There.
And the correction order
well,
will state
I
to take
think
the signs
one
down
of the-
because
one of-
they're,
One of the advantages, I mean, I don't think the sign is appropriate to the building. And
It's an absolutely disgusting sign.
It is. I think we're all in agreement.
so I'll change my motion that we reject it. So at least in that way, they have to change something. They can't come back for a year without changing something. Madam Chairman, I move we reject the application on the basis of its incompatibility with the structure that it's placed on.
I have a second.
Second.
Who came first?
No, it doesn't matter.
Madam Secretary, I have a motion on the floor to not approve HDC 0542013 as stated by Mr. Mazzini. Call the roll, please.
Mr. McSaney,
Yes.
Mr. Hayes,
Yes.
Mr. Dyer,
Yes.
Chairwoman Blitz.
Yes.
And the motion carries.
And up there. Oh, now we were on to, oh, I'm sorry, Mom.
Chairman, new business. We have a tree at the Harrison, or the Anderson Murphy building. Actually, we have two. One is in severe distress, and the other one is hollow to the point where we are concerned that it's going to come down on the building. So you will see in short order two trees. One is a maple, the other is a cypress that has been butchered by the utility company. You will see those trees
Surprise.
coming down. I don't know about any replacements at the moment, but
They're the ones in the
we have
front.
to get those down.
They're huge.
But there will be replacements.
I'm sorry?
There will be replacements.
I can't say that.
Oh.
That's not.
Get the small ornamental kind that only grow 30 feet high, 25, 30 feet high. That's what we did.
One, which I believe believe is the cypress is kind of competing with the new
Christmas
that's
tree.
planted there.
Hmm.
Right.
So,
Right.
tree for tree replacement, I don't know, I can't say one way or the other.
It doesn't have to be in the same spot, and again, it can be
Same
smaller.
location, they
Yeah.
can be anywhere in Laurel. I'm
Yeah.
sure the city will be
you
planting a
go.
tree sometime or another.
Yep.
Arbor Day will be
I know
coming
somebody
up.
on the tree board.
My task was just to tell you they're coming down. I don't know about anything about replacement.
Thank you.
Appreciate the information. One thing, did you find anything out about the Blue Oasis sign? or if
That
they're-
sign should be down.
Okay. I thought I still saw it, but I haven't been down Route 1.
I thought a Lee sign was over it, isn't there?
Oh.
That business is no longer in there.
I don't know that it was ever in there. Really, I just saw the sign. It didn't look like there was anything in there.
Where is this, the blue something?
see your eyes.
Blue Oasis, where,
The business
where
is
the
gone.
train store used to be.
Oh.
What we had mentioned the last meeting.
Gotcha.
Okay, very
I do
good.
have the front of the armory up here in case anybody wants to see it. If not, I'm gonna shut it down.
I know what it
We can
looks like.
find,
That's
we can
Right up the
find,
street from me, I know what it looks like.
we can find the armory if we need to.
One thing, I don't, if everybody got letters, I hope that everybody will be able to come to the council meeting on the 22nd.
Oh, yes.
Good, I'm going to be there too. All right. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you.
Can we go off the air for a minute? Or can we go off the air now?
I think we all are off the air. No red lights are flashing.